Are you looking for the best plasma cutters under $500? In this video we will look at some of the 5 best plasma cutters on the market. Before we get started with our video, we have included links in the description, so make sure you check those out to see which one is in your budget range. Starting at number 1. Lotos LTP 5000D. The Lotos LTP 5000D won our editor's choice as the best overall plasma cutter under $500. The half-an-inch cutting ability is significant given how compact and lightweight the plasma cutter is. Importantly, Lotos half-an-inch rating is actually the thickness it can cut cleanly. This cutter is rated to sever metals up to 3/4 inches thick. You'll need to have a 220-volt outlet in order to maximize your cutting depth, but the unit includes a power cable, so this is relatively easy. There's also very little assembly required since the cutter comes with everything you need to connect to your air compressor's regulator. One of the unique aspects of this plasma cutter is that it uses a non-touch pilot RC tip. Since you don't have to touch the tip to the metal, your electrode and nozzle last far longer than with other cutters. However, this can be a slight downside as well, as users found that the cut is wide compared to other plasma cutters. Longevity is an issue with this cutter, as with most plasma cutters under $500. Some users found that the machine worked reliably for years, while others had units that burned out after a handful of uses. Lotos offers a 1-year warranty, but won't repair defective units after the warranty period. At number 2. Forni Easy Weld 250/120p Plasma Cutter. The Easy Weld from Forni is one of the best plasma cutters for home use. Forni thought of just about everything for this plasma cutter in terms of ease of use. It comes with a power source so you can easily wire it into any 120-volt home outlet, as well as a regulator so you can plug it into your air compressor and go. Even better, it includes an 8-foot long ground clamp, so grounding your plasma cutter is simple. The included cutting torch is designed to be dragged directly across the metal surface. That uses up more consumables per cut, but it also allows you to use the sheet you're actively cutting for balance and precision. Cuts are narrow and it's easy to get them straight. The biggest downside to the Forni plasma cutter is that the duty cycle is extremely low, just 35%. That means that after cutting for 3.5 minutes, you need to let the cutter rest for another 6.5 minutes before starting the next cut. There's a temperature indicator on the unit to warn you when it's close to overheating. At number 3. Display 4 Top Cut 50 DC Inverter Plasma Cutter. The Display 4 Top Cut 50 Plasma Cutter is the perfect first plasma cutter for new metalworkers and shop owners. The cutter is surprisingly inexpensive for the features it offers. Most important, it can be connected to either a 110-volt or 220-volt power source and uses an inverted technical power switch to regulate the current. There's also a screen so you can monitor everything that's going on in the unit while you cut. Assembly can be a bit complicated. Everything you need to run the plasma cutter is provided, but it all needs to be installed before you can start making cuts. Helpfully, one of the pieces included is a ground clamp to ensure that you work safely. The 60% duty cycle is relatively good, if not amazing. But, this cutter comes with built-in overheating protection, which is a huge plus. The cutter will automatically turn off if you approach the point of damaging your unit. The only major downside to this cutter is that it's heavy, weighing at more than 37 pounds. So, it's not the ideal choice if you need to move your plasma cutter from job site to job site. At number 4. HeroCut Plasma Cutter. The HeroCut is one of the best small plasma cutters we've come across. It's extremely inexpensive, making it a good choice for metalworkers on a budget and first-time plasma cutter users alike. Better yet, it's extremely portable. This is by far the most lightweight plasma cutter we reviewed. The HeroCut also uses inverter technology inside to maximize your safety. The cutting ability of the HeroCut is somewhat limited, at just 0.3 inches. Some users found that it was significantly weaker, but this was a relatively rare complaint. The advantage to the thin cutting ability is that the cutter only needs to be wired to a standard 110-volt outlet to achieve a 0.3-inch depth. Even then, it's able to pull up to 30 amps of current and can sustain a 60% duty cycle, which is on par with much larger plasma cutters. The HeroCut comes with everything you need for assembly, although users recommended adding a quick disconnect fitting to make connecting to the air compressor easier. You'll also notice that, unlike many competing plasma cutters, it doesn't come with an LCD screen. But, this is mostly unnecessary given that the only control available is the current dial. At number 5. VivaHome Portable DC Inverter Plasma Cutter. The VivaHome Plasma Cutter is another rendition of the inverted tool, with a few useful tweaks. To start, it's adaptable. The unit can be wired to either 110-volt or 220-volt power, and has a switch and dial that can be used in concert to dial in your output current. At full power, the unit has a cutting ability of up to half an inch. However, keep in mind that the duty cycle isn't rated and there's no temperature indicator light. So, you'll need to be very careful about not overworking the unit. The cutter comes with almost everything you need to start working, including a welding face mask and goggles for safety. However, there is one necessary component missing: there's no tubing to connect from the air input to your air compressor. You'll need to buy this separately, although it's very inexpensive. The VivaHome cutter is also fairly portable since it's only 23 pounds. It doesn't come with a handle on top, but this is relatively easy to add. Importantly, this cutter can be connected to a CNC machine. The instruction manual covers how to do this, but users note that you'll probably need to consult additional sources for the installation.